What if something as small as a mouse dropping could kill you in less than a week? That is exactly what hantavirus can do. And most people have never even heard of it. Today we are breaking down everything you need to know about hantavirus. What it is, how you catch it, what happens to your body, and most importantly, how to protect yourself. What is hantavirus? Hantavirus is a family of dangerous viruses carried by rodents. These are not lab-engineered pathogens. They have existed in nature for thousands of years, silently spreading through wild rodent populations across the world. In the Americas, the most feared form is called Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, or HPS. In Asia and Europe, it causes a different condition called hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome, which attacks the kidneys. Both are serious, both can kill, and neither has a definitive cure. Where did it come from? Most people first heard about hantavirus in 1993, when a mysterious outbreak hit the Four Corners region of the United States, the area where Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado meet. Young, healthy people were suddenly dying. Doctors were baffled. Patients would develop what looked like the flu, and then within days, their lungs would fill with fluid. They could not breathe. Many did not survive. Investigators eventually traced the outbreak to the deer mouse, a small, common rodent found across North America. The virus was named sin nombre, which in Spanish means without a name. Since that outbreak, hundreds of cases have been confirmed in the United States alone, with a mortality rate sitting around 38%. That means nearly 4 out of every 10 people who get infected with the most severe form do not survive. How do you get infected? This is where things get alarming, because you do not need to touch a mouse to get infected. Hantavirus spreads through the urine, feces, and saliva of infected rodents. When droppings dry out, they turn to dust. That dust becomes airborne. You breathe it in. That is all it takes. Common infection scenarios include cleaning out a shed, cabin, barn, or garage that has rodent activity, stirring up old rodent nests, sleeping in an infested space, even just walking through an area with heavy rodent presence. The good news is that in the Americas, hantavirus does not spread from person to person. You cannot catch it from a sick friend or family member. But in some rare strains found in South America, limited person-to-person transmission has been documented. What does it do to your body? The incubation period ranges from 1 to 8 weeks after exposure. During that time, you feel fine. Then the first phase hits: fever, chills, intense muscle aches, especially in the thighs, hips, and back, headaches, dizziness, fatigue. At this stage, it looks exactly like the flu, and most patients do not realize what is happening. Then, between 4 and 10 days after symptoms begin, things escalate fast. The lungs begin filling with fluid. Breathing becomes difficult. The heart struggles to pump. This is called hantavirus pulmonary syndrome in full force, and it can develop into full respiratory failure within hours. Patients at this stage often require mechanical ventilation just to survive. There is no specific antiviral drug approved to fight hantavirus. Treatment is supportive, meaning doctors manage symptoms and keep the patient alive while the immune system fights back. Who is most at risk? Anyone can get hantavirus, but certain groups face higher exposure risk. People who work outdoors, campers, hikers, farmers, construction workers, and park rangers. People who clean out old, unused buildings or storage areas where rodents have been living. People in rural areas with high rodent populations, particularly in the western United States, rural South America, and parts of Asia and Eastern Europe. How to protect yourself? Prevention is your best weapon, because there is no approved vaccine for hantavirus. Before entering any space with potential rodent activity, ventilate it first. Open windows and doors for at least 30 minutes before going in. Never sweep or vacuum dried rodent droppings. This sends the virus into the air. Instead, wet the area first with a disinfectant solution, then carefully wipe it up with gloves and a mask. Seal gaps in your home. Rodents can squeeze through openings the size of a dime. Store food in sealed containers. Set traps if you suspect rodent activity. And if you are working in a high-risk environment, wear a properly fitted N95 respirator or better. If you have been in a potentially exposed area and develop a sudden fever, muscle pain, and breathing difficulty in the days or weeks that follow, seek emergency medical care immediately. Speed is critical. The bigger picture. Hantavirus is a reminder that some of the most dangerous threats to human health are not found in distant jungles or breaking news headlines. They are hiding in a dusty old barn, in a mouse nest behind the wall, in the air you breathe without thinking. As the climate changes and human settlements push further into wild habitats, the risk of zoonotic diseases, viruses that jump from animals to humans, is increasing. Hantavirus is one example. It will not be the last. The best protection is knowledge, knowing the risk, knowing the signs, and knowing when to act. Stay informed, stay safe. If this video helped you understand hantavirus better, share it with someone who spends time outdoors. You could literally be saving a life.